Been reading the retention schedule.
Call to order this city council meeting, February 17, 2016. Thank you, Lord, for all that you have given us, our families, our friends, our country, and our city, and especially Jesus, your sacrifice for each one of us. Amen. Amen. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Martha, would you please call roll?
Yes. Cowdery?
Here.
Gibbs?
Here.
Crane?
Here.
Miller?
Here.
Quinn?
Here.
Rothrock?
Here.
Shepherd?
Here.
And Councilmember Vaughn is absent this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Tonight we have a revised agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve our revised agenda as printed.
Mayor, I move the city council approve the revised agenda as printed.
Second. Please call roll.
Rothrock?
Here.
Aye.
Sorry.
Quinn?
Quinn.
Aye.
Thank you. Crane?
Aye.
Cowdery?
Aye.
Gibbs?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Shepherd?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. We do not have any public hearings tonight. However, we have 3 special presentations, and we will begin with recognizing our police department. Captain Lloyd.
This is Bob Hamilton, and he will be presenting the award.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, City Councilman, my name is Bob Hamilton. I'm what's called a law enforcement liaison for the Kansas Department of Transportation. Through our duties, there's 4 of us in the state, and we're all assigned to a different part of the state. And I'm assigned to the northeast part of the state, which runs from the Nebraska border to Lynn County, west to Dickinson County, and then back north to the Nebraska border. We work with AAA, watching our different law enforcement agencies across the state, see what they're doing towards traffic safety to make our roadways safer for us out here as motoring public. The award's purpose is to encourage communities to address local traffic safety issues in a coordinated and cost-effective way. I've been watching Mission Police Department for several years, and I'm a retired law enforcement officer myself from the Sheriff's Office, so I worked a lot with Mission on check lanes and different things. And I've really been impressed with the way they go about, the way they handle things, their professionalism, and the way they treat the motoring public. And some of the things that they're being recognized for, that they're receiving this award for, is having a traffic safety committee that meets regularly to identify and address community traffic safety concerns, for having an approved seatbelt policy for the department. And one thing that really caught my attention on that is there's a lot of agencies in the state of Kansas that still do not have seatbelt policies for their own personnel on wearing seatbelts. In education, for having a police booth at the annual city picnic and for child seat installations in education. In enforcement, for participating in the impaired driving deterrent program and the click it or ticket visibility enforcement, and in engineering for its electronic lighted sign for traffic safety announcements and crime prevention. And proof of their safety efforts are clear in the trend of the Mission traffic safety stats. Adult seatbelt use has risen from 80 to 92%. Teen seatbelt use has risen from 85 to 92%. Child passenger seat use has risen from 69 to 95%. The quarterly crash injuries have dropped from 105 to 76. That's a pretty drastic drop. Teen crashes have dropped from 26 to 18. Alcohol arrests have dropped from 343 to 267. And there have been 3 fatalities in 5 years, with 0 fatalities in 3 of the past 5. So at this time, I'd like to present the Mission Police Department with the Platinum Award. And thank you, Mr. Mayor and Councilman, for your support of the Mission Police Department. Good job, buddy. There you go. You got one more, okay? Good, thanks.
Our second presentation tonight is the GFOA Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Ms. Smith?
Thank you, Mayor. We are pleased again to report that this is our 20th year for receiving this distinguished award for the presentation of our annual financial report with the auditors. And so we just received that notice in the mail about 2 weeks ago, and just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. There are about 20,000 cities who submit their comprehensive annual financial reports each year to the GFOA, and only about 1% of those actually are selected to receive this award. So that's a great accomplishment for us, and one that we intend to continue into the future. I will tell you, the auditors, Brian has survived his first audit. The auditors were on site last week, and so we look forward to wrapping up the details for that and bringing the results of that audit forward. News was positive. It looks like we're going to add to fund balance again this fiscal year, so we'll have great news to report as we start our budget process. Thank you.
Very good.
Our third presentation is from the Parks and Recreation Department. Ms. Nordhaus?
Ask Jenny Smith to come on up here.
Jenny.
You all know Jenny, right?
Jenny.
How can you not know Jenny?
I don't know where to stand.
So,
You're good.
that's good, right there. Now, there's a certain part, and there's a certain part I read you have to reenact, okay? So, 2 weeks ago, Jenny was in Dodge City at the annual Kansas Recreation and Park Association conference, and I had a couple conversations with those people since then, and said, you know, if you'd let us know, I probably would have made the 6-hour drive to come out. But every year, the president of the Kansas Recreation and Park Association recognizes one person who has significantly, that's hard, gone above and beyond in the betterment of life in our communities or service to the organization. So I'm going to read to you what the president of the association said as he was presenting this award to Jenny. He said, over the past few years, Jenny Smith has taken the young professionals group within the Kansas Recreation and Park Association and led it to a roaring powerhouse. Roaring is probably not a big enough word for Jenny. The young professionals have forged a new path with a new spark of energy due to Jenny's leadership. It says Jenny is without a doubt one of the most energetic people I know. The way people are drawn to her is just fantastic. Her smile is infectious, and her leadership is remarkable. Jenny brings enthusiasm and creativity to everything she does. She is breathing new life into our industry and is passionate about getting folks involved. Went on to say that I know Jenny sees this recognition as important, but I also know she doesn't work hard for looking for validation. Instead, she works hard because she sees the significant impact on people's lives. She works hard because that is what you are supposed to do. Being an all-around good person is not what this recognition is about. It is about something special, something unique and interesting. It is about Jenny's drive and passion that is unparalleled. It is apparent that she wants all young parks and recreation professionals to have the best experience our state association has to offer. Then nobody knew Jenny was getting this award. Jenny didn't know. I think there were only a total of 5 people that knew she was getting the award. She had just been on stage presenting. What were you presenting?
For the young professionals. I had gotten up to say thank you for them. He had asked me, I had actually given a presentation in my jeans and t-shirt because I had a camp presentation. And he comes to me and he says, Jenny, I'm losing my voice. Can you get up and say a few words about the young professionals? And I was like, I suppose. I'm not really dressed for the occasion. I said, but sure, I'll get up there because they do a good job. I go up there, I give a little presentation. And then, well, he says, stop. You're going. Okay.
This is what the president of the association says. Since she was standing behind me while I read the award, I couldn't see her face. I'm sure it was priceless when she realized I was talking about her. I can almost guarantee that she is the only recipient in the history of KRPA that gave a high kick and a loud woohoo.
I had so much energy built up.
Show us how you did.
So I'm standing there and he does the spiel and he's saying all this stuff and I didn't know he was talking about me and one of the members goes, Jenny, they're talking about you. And I was like, I think they are talking about me. And so when he finally was like, and this is for Jenny, I literally go, woo! Right off the front of the stage. And they loved it. So it went really well, as you can imagine. It went really well. So yeah.
Anyway.
It was good.
Oh, that's great.
It was good.
We truly feel very fortunate to have you as a part of our team. And we know you have already done wonderful things. You're going to continue to do many more great things. So on behalf of KRPA and the City of Mission, again, the President's Citation Award.
Thank you very much.
Got it. Thank you.
See, I feel again that energy. I want to kick.
Yeah.
Watch out. Watch out. No,
Brace yourself.
thank you so much. Thank you. I know, right? Thank you, dude. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
See you tomorrow. All right.
I noticed there's a scout in the audience. Would you mind standing up and give us your name and saying what badge you're working on?
My name is Justin Keller, and I am working on the badge of citizenship in the community for Troop 199.
Excellent. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Do you need anything signed afterwards? Pat always signs everything. Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Issuance of notes and bonds. Tonight we have 2 items. The restructuring of the Falls housing bonds and a development agreement with the Falls property owner. Mr. Scott will give us a brief overview of these items.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I don't know if this deserves a kick and a woohoo, but we'll give it a shot. You're all familiar with the Falls. It's a 435-unit apartment complex located at 6565 Box Ridge. The Falls was originally built in 1976 and has been owned by Whispering Falls LLC since 1995. In 1999, the city issued $9.35 million in multifamily housing bonds to assist with the refinancing of the purchase and rehabilitation of the property. The ownership, the arrangement is structured in such a way that the ownership actually, in Whispering Falls LLC, leased the property to the city, and the city in turn subleased it back from Whispering Falls. That allowed for that tax-exempt status in which the city can sell those bonds. So those bonds are sold to a trustee, which is placed into a relationship where that is then loaned back to the ownership to make repairs that are needed. They have approached the city recently about restructuring that relationship. In particular, what they're interested in doing is changing the credit enhancement that was originally associated with that structuring.
Those bonds that were sold in 1999 were enhanced by Fannie Mae, and they would like to find alternate credit enhancement that would allow them to do some subordinate loans on the arrangement. They would also like to extend the maturity date from 2029 to 2034, additional 5 years. As part of this arrangement, they're going to make about $800,000 in improvements to the property. So all of the paperwork and so forth, the agreements are part of your package tonight for your consideration. The ownership group, representatives of the ownership group are here, as well as Gary Anderson, our bond counsel. I should state that there is no risk to the city associated with this arrangement, as there was no risk associated with the original arrangement. So if for whatever reason the ownership group defaults on repaying the bonds, that does not come back on the city in any way. So there's no risk to the city. The second item that's before you is a development agreement that's associated with the arrangement. We asked for some conditions in kind of exchange for our approval. Those were that the improvements to the property, that $800,000 in improvements, be done within the year, that they cooperate with the city when we're looking to obtain construction easements or even possible right-of-way easements or the reconstruction of Fox Ridge in a few years. And then finally, that they pay the city a $50,000 issuance fee. So that's the second item on the agenda. So if you have any questions, I can answer those, and I see the representatives from the ownership group as well.
Questions? Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I would entertain a motion for the restructuring of the Falls housing bonds.
Mayor, I move the City Council approve a resolution authorizing and approving certain documents in connection with the delivery of an alternate credit facility to the City of Mission, Kansas, multifamily housing revenue refunding bonds, the Falls Apartments Project, Series 1999, and authorizing other actions in connection therewith.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call roll.
Shepherd,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Gibbs,
Aye.
Cowdery,
Aye.
Kring,
Aye.
Quinn,
Aye.
Rothrock.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I would now entertain a motion on the development agreement with the Falls.
Mayor, I move the City Council approve the development agreement between the City of Mission, Kansas and Whispering Falls, LLC, relating to the restructuring of previously issued multifamily housing revenue refunding bonds, the Falls Apartments Project, Series 1999.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call roll.
Gibbs,
Aye.
Rothrock,
Aye.
Cowdery,
Aye.
Kring,
Aye.
Shepherd,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Our consent agenda has 6 items tonight. I would entertain a motion to approve.
Mayor, I move the City Council adopt the consent agenda as printed, items 3A through 3F.
Second.
Please call roll.
Miller,
Aye.
Rothrock,
Aye.
Shepherd,
Aye.
Quinn,
Aye.
Cowdery,
Aye.
Kring,
Aye.
Gibbs.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
If you have any questions regarding our community committees, you may ask staff or bring this up under new business. At this time, we have public comments. This is opportunity for the members of the public to comment on items that are not on the agenda. Under action items, we do not have any items from the Planning Commission this evening. Next, our committee reports. Councilmember Rothrock, will you provide a report from the Finance and Administration Committee?
Arts KC Now Showing program allows artists to display their artwork on a rotating basis at local businesses, providing interesting and varied artwork at the hosting facility for a relatively low cost. The annual membership for the program is $1,500 per location, and the artwork is rotated on a quarterly basis. With the start of each new rotation, there are opportunities for additional promotion of the city and the community center. Both Arts KC and the individual artists will encourage guests to come view the art, bringing forward more foot traffic, and exposure to mission from around the region. Mayor, I move the City Council approve the exhibition agreement with Arts KC to display rotating artwork at the Sylvester Powell Jr. Community Center for an amount not to exceed $1,500.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call roll.
Gibbs.
Aye.
Cowdery.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Rothrock.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Shepherd.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Next, we have the contract principal for police policy updates and management. The police department currently maintains more than 91 policies and 7 regulations, which cover various aspects of law enforcement operations, from pursuit policies to disciplinary guidelines. Maintaining a comprehensive, clear, and updated set of policies and procedures is an important liability consideration for the department and the city. Staff is recommending moving from our current provider to the Lexipol digital law enforcement policy system. Lexipol has created policy content that is consistent with current federal and state law. In addition, they offer a unique set of risk management tools for public safety agencies, including a daily training bulletin service. Mayor, I move the City Council approve the purchase of the Lexipol digital law enforcement policy manual system at an annual cost of $8,862 and an additional one-time cost of $3,950 for an agency-specific implementation plan.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call roll.
Shepherd.
Aye.
Rothrock.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
Cowdery.
Aye.
Gibbs.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Leslie. Councilmember Quinn, will you provide a report on our community development unit?
Mayor, we have no report to give for the community development.
We do not have any unfinished business tonight. Does anyone have any new business?
I have several things. Can I get them all? Announce them all?
Yes?
Martha, would you hold up the card, please? I think you all got the thank you note in your packet from Santa Fe. And that's the card we were talking about. All the students at Santa Fe said thank you. I thought that was really cool for them to do that, for all the Christmas help. And then today I got a note from Russian, and it says, "Dear City of Mission members, thank you for helping our Russian families have a wonderful Christmas. Your kindness allowed our families to enjoy the holidays rather than worry about providing for their children. You are a blessing to our families and our schools. Sincerely, Amy and staff," which I thought was really nice. And I'm on Russian. I thought you might like to know that Russian has a 5th grader, 11 years old, who is going to be representing Johnson County at the spelling bee in Hays, Kansas. How's that? So I think that's really cool. If he wins that, he will go on and I think where's the original? I don't remember where the other one is. He goes on to the national one anyway. But they said, we'll keep you in tune, and maybe we may have to have a watch party if he gets that far. But that's one of our own. That's a Russian 5th grader. I think that is awesome. I'm very, very, very proud of him. I think that's wonderful. I would like to also mention that March the 12th, which is a Saturday at 9 o'clock, Ward 4 and Ward 3 will be having a coffee. And Tom Valenti will be there to answer questions. If anybody would still like to come, we would love to have you. 9 o'clock at the Community Center on March the 12th. The Mission magazine goes in the mail next week. Pat, would you like to hold up your picture?
This is not the cover.
That's his Kansas City Thunder Rider. So that's one of our articles in the Mission magazine. And then I would also like to mention that this year is Mission's 65th birthday. And this Friday we are having a luncheon from 11 to 1. And we are inviting 16 senior citizens and Dave Martin to come in. I think you're the youngest one over there. But we're going to pick their brains, and we're going to get all these wonderful stories they have to tell. It's been fun because I've talked to so many of them on the phone, and my gosh, you just can't get off the phone. They just have stories on stories and stories. And I didn't know that Mission Bank used to be Marion Bank. I did not know that. There's all these things they're telling me, and I talked to the guy today from Town Topic, and that used to be a Valentine diner that they brought here from Wichita and literally put on that spot.
And he said they're very well wanted, they're wanted right now, so if anybody's got any Valentine diners, everybody wants them because they're so nostalgic. So it's really fun. We've gotten a lot of good information which we're going to use in our Mission magazine for the 65th issue, which comes out the end of April or first week of May. If anybody would like to come Friday, you're more than welcome. Just let me know and we'll fix a lot of lunch for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan.
Anyone else?
Steve, I have one.
Oh, yes.
Yep. So kind of interesting, I shared with the committee last Wednesday that I was at the Kansas Contractors Association and I heard Congressman Pompeo defend his position why he voted against the federal highway funding bill. And when asked from the audience how he thought it ought to be paid for, he said, well, a fee seems like the fair way to do it. And I said, well, that's kind of interesting. And then Jerry Lonergan with the Kansas City Civic Business Council, who's a Mission resident, invited me to a forum today. It was called Kinetic. And Kinetic, if you're not familiar with it, is a dynamic series of forums helping us to prepare for the future of transportation. Well, one point after Bill Ford, the chairman of Ford Motor Company, got done, they had a local panel and they got into, quote, innovative funding strategies. And somebody said, well, you know, you probably ought to pay for roads the same way we handle our data on our cell phone. What you use is what you ought to pay for, you know, based on miles traveled. And the guy said, kind of like a fee? And he said, yeah, like a fee. And so I got to thinking, you got Kinetic over here, which is no doubt kind of over on the left and kind of progressive thinking. You've got, according to Business Insider, Congressman Pompeo, probably the 7th most conservative congressman in the House of Representatives, all kind of converging on this strategy of, you know, we've got to figure out a way to pay for our roads, and maybe a fee is the most fair way to do it. So anyway, we could be prematurely right, folks. I'm just saying. I thought it was fascinating. Wanted to share that with you.
Dave, are you practicing your argument before the Kansas Supreme Court?
Well, believe me, they would never probably even allow me in. They'd ask my wife before they'd ask me.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Just wanted to let you know, beginning March 5th, I'll be going to Washington, D.C. on behalf of the city, attending the National League of Cities. It's actually in March, it's the Congress of Cities. I'm not meeting with any representatives, but I will be attending meetings for 4 days. And I sit on the Energy, Environment, and Natural Resources Subcommittee, so I will be bringing back a report from that committee. And if any constituents or anybody on the council wants any literature, I usually bring back a world of things, and then I start filtering through it and give it to people, or I keep it for my records. But if there's anything you want on anything from public works activities to solar systems and different things like that, let me know and I'll bring it back.
Great, thanks, Dave. Anyone else? There is no mayor's report tonight, so we'll go to the city administrator's report. Ms. Lynn?
Thank you, Mayor. I have just a couple of items. First, we do have a work session scheduled for next Wednesday night. We're going to start our conversation about results coming out of the sign inventory, and then start our conversation, both of which will be ongoing, about streets and street program in the 2017 budget and beyond. So my question would be, typically we would start that at 7, but do you have an appetite for moving the time up and starting earlier for that work session? And if so, I'm open to suggestions. Is 6 o'clock too early?
6 is fine.
6 is good? Okay. So 6 o'clock, we'll make sure we get that information out on Friday then. Thank you. Also, just a reminder that the Wellstone will have their ribbon cutting next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Residents started moving in, I think, Monday, so that's great. Excited to have that open. And those new residents. The annual report for 2015, we discussed that briefly at the committee meeting last week, and that is now available on the website. That's kind of our first step into our annual budget process, and gives us an opportunity to look at where we ended the most recent year, but also kind of take a 5-year look backward as we start to look forward in the budget process. So that's certainly available. It's got some great information in there. If you come by tomorrow, you're likely to see us all in jeans and sort of huffing and puffing. We're having a City Hall cleanup day tomorrow, and everybody's been tasked with sort of getting things cleaned up, cleaned out, and organized a little bit more efficiently. So we will make sure we have phones and counters covered, but hope to make an impact around here. And then finally, I know we've shared it in the city administrator's report, but I think you may have seen some publicity this week about our Johnson Drive project receiving a capstone award from the Kansas City Business Journal, and we will be recognized a week from Friday at a luncheon. So we're excited to have that award for that exciting project. And that's all I have this evening.
Okay, thank you, Lauren. We do need to have an executive session this evening to discuss personnel issue of non-elected personnel. I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the city council adjourn to executive session for 15 minutes to discuss a personnel issue of non-elected personnel. Also attending will be City Attorney Dave Martin. The council will reconvene in the city council chambers at 7:45 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It is a source of pride, no doubt about it. Say Chinese.
Not everybody gets it there,
That's
Dave.
it.
And with the picture, you read that. I got it. Thank you.
I'll let the record show that we have returned from executive session. I put before you the name of Laura Smith for appointment as city administrator.
Mayor, I move the city council appoint Laura Smith as city administrator for an indefinite term.
Second.
Please call roll.
Quinn,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Shepherd,
Aye.
Crane,
Aye.
Cowdery,
Aye.
Rothrock,
Aye.
Gibbs.
Aye.
Thank you, motion carries.
Thank you. If there is no other business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.